Hey everybody out there watching, this is our August 1st fish room update. I know it's not the 1st, it's the 4th. We're running a little behind this month. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Start where we always do. We actually got 2 more tanks set up on the 75 wall. Yes, the saltwater tanks are out again. I apologize. We could only get to recording late. I'd be more than happy to do a fish room update, or rather a saltwater tank update after this, when the lights are on tomorrow. But as you guys know, we don't have much going on in those. So we got a 75 in the middle set up. We moved Dahlia, the flower horn, over here. He was being a real bully. He's messing with everyone. In the 560, he is not, in my opinion, a very good community fish. I think that's well known. Figured I'd try it anyhow. Flower horns do not like communities, at least not in my experience. He was digging up all the airlines. He was fighting with everyone. He has some bruising on his lip from his last couple days in there. He had some bruising on his head. See, his lip is healing. But he's doing good in here now. I think he likes it better in there. I think he's still getting acclimated. Let me get back a little so you guys can see. I don't know if we're going to put anything else in there. As far as equipment, we're going to put something to hit the surface of the water a little, because that hob, we moved him over with a fully filtered or cycled hob, but that doesn't agitate the water enough. There's like a filament on the right side where the hob isn't, so we'll put some bubbles in there or something. But he's doing good. The tank below, we have just 2 big sponge filters on. We have some bottled beneficial bacteria and some rosy reds in there, and we're just cycling it right now. We don't even know what we're going to put in it, so we've got ideas. We'll take our time. We didn't have the money for a full light or heater. That was an old heater we had. I'm not even sure that thing works. We have a shorter heater than we would like, but, or excuse me, lighter, shorter light than we would like, but it's lighting it up. It's just one we had. We figure we can finish the lighting and heating implementations once it's fully cycled. This way we could at least get it cycled. So we haven't done anything new with the 75 saltwater. Again, the lights are out. I will do another video for just the saltwater if anyone requests it, but we really haven't done anything with them. So this tank down here, we moved Shelby's Blue Angel out of the 55 grow out over here. I think we might have done that last update. Severums are doing good. Zigzag's doing good. 2 tire track eels in here are doing great. The striped Raphael never comes out of the cave, ever. I don't even know how that fish survives. I've never even seen it eat. So right now this tank's just running on 2 sponge filters. We took the hob off this and moved it over with Dahlia. I'm thinking we might get some of those, I've always wanted to try those internal filters that have the moving media in them, like the K1 media. They're like green. They're pretty cheap online. I've always wanted to try something like that. Just something to polish up the water a little. Because I think the sponge filters are doing just fine. But as you could see, the water's a little murky. And I'm assuming that's because we don't have a ton of mechanical filtration with just the 2 sponge filters. Everyone's doing really good in here. Yep. All right, let's move over to the goldfish tank. I changed the lighting on the goldfish tank recently, so you're gonna notice that this time it's different. We changed it so that, try to get a backed up shot. So the middle light's white right now. The left and the right are 2 separate lights that are blue. I transitioned it so later in the night, the left and right will go blue, the central stay white to sort of dim it down for them. And then the center will go blue and the left and right will go out. And then the center will finally go out. It looks pretty cool. And it kind of transitions. I feel like they look really nice in the dim light and they like it like that. And it does the same when it starts up. I don't have them all start up at the same color at once. they've been acting a little weird lately. Like right now, they're all out. Sometimes we'll come over to this tank and they're all missing. And they'll all be hiding behind the overflow. Don't know why. But we checked the water perimeters. They were totally fine. It's a little dirty right now. I got to do the water change on this tank tomorrow. We did all the small tanks tonight, and we're doing the 2 big tanks tomorrow. But everyone's doing real good in here. Nothing new. Plan on souping up the media and set up in the wet dry filter on this tank eventually. We want to get all the tanks set up, and then we want to take our time fine-tuning and refining all the equipment once we have everything up and running. Those last 2 75s on the right there, and then we could take our time just refining everything. So this is going to look different. We've been calling this the green tank, and you can see why. After my last video update, I actually spent a lot of time on the top of the tanks, taking all the lids off, cleaning them real good, getting inside the lips, and I think I did a pretty good job. Even the saltwater tank, because all the salt creep and stuff, the lids themselves were really bad, and I got them all really good. And I completely disassembled the hob for this one, since I've got so much seeded live rock that doesn't even need the hob. So yeah, I really worked on the top of the tanks, including this one, but I think I got them so clean that the light is so powerful that all this green started growing. And at first I was like, well, let's leave it. It looks kind of cool. And then we decided just today we're really kind of not liking the green, so we're gonna have to address it somehow. This is the same light we have on a lot of other tanks, and I'm not sure why it makes so much green algae growth in this tank, but it doesn't in the other one. Like, we got it on our planted tank, and I totally understand why it doesn't do it on the planted tank, because that's heavily planted. But we also have the same light and time and cycle on the 75 over there with no plants, and it doesn't do anything like this. And I know that's a little more water, but it's only 20 more gallons. So I'm not sure why it has this crazy effect on this tank in particular. If anyone has any input, I'd love to hear it. But right now we just have the peacock bass growing out in here, the Calvaries. They're doing great, eating great. And then I cannot say doing great for the arowana. Look, I'm going to get him in the reflection. He's hiding behind the rock. So he's got a little spot on his head. It looks like maybe he ran into something. See that? It's not like ick. He doesn't have white dots. It looks like he just bumped into something. But when we first got him, he was swimming around at the top. He was eating like crazy. And then he started doing this when we moved the silver dollars out of here. He just started sitting towards the bottom. He doesn't look ill or anything. He's just sitting on the bottom. However, it was also after I cleaned those lids, and I think it might be a light thing. So when the lights go out, he doesn't do this. He comes out and he's totally fine. Again, anyone has any input, I'd love to hear it, but I don't think he's ill. The water tests perfectly fine. I think maybe the lights are too bright for him. I don't know if that's a thing. Again, it's after we cleaned I detailed the top of the tanks and it became a lot brighter, and now he just sits at the bottom. But again, when the lights go out, he will come out and swim around freely. So I was a little worried, but I think he's okay. You notice the silver dollars are all gone? I'll get back to that in a second. The pulsing xenia is doing awesome. I will show you that when I do a saltwater update, because with the lights out, it looks a little crummy. But that's saltwater for you. Everything looks totally different with the lights out. Did some cool stuff with the planet tank. I did the same thing. I detailed the heck out of the lids, cleaned them real good. I got some CO2 made, and we got that kicking. And of course, we forgot to plug in our hob and heater. Luckily, We only did this water change like 60 minutes ago. So I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Sorry about that, guys. Glad I looked down there though. Yeah, we just did a water change on this. Forgot to plug in the hobbin heater. Whoops. Again, I'm sure it'll be fine. It wasn't long ago. That's what that poof is. It was the filter. But we got CO2 in here. I took tons of the frog bits out. Once the CO2 hits, as you can see, they go totally crazy again. Get a back shot. Still want to get some sort of red plant for this. Yeah, that poof. We also did something else really cool with this tank. I can't believe I forgot to plug those in. I'm glad I noticed though. You see these boxes down here? Maybe, yep, there's one. There's another. Check these things out. We got these boxes off Amazon and we put 2 sweet potatoes in them because we're really trying to check out all this cool hydroponic stuff we're seeing. This is not even a week's worth of growth. Not even a week. Like you can see these leaves. That one's also growing. Not as good as this one, but they're both doing great. The pothos, doing great. This one right here has a bunch of new leaves. The other ones have new leaves too. They're just under the water. They're hard to see on camera. Maybe I can catch them from underneath. No, the frog bits are too dense. But yeah, this tank's doing really good. Every time I make CO2, it just goes crazy. And this thing, which I think is bamboo, which I was told would never really grow underwater, and kind of thought it wouldn't, it even looks like it's getting some new leaves in the center. So yeah, that's cool. This tank's doing really good. Want to get some red in there. If this, I mean, look how high that sweet potato is. You can see from back here. Once those things get bushy and crazy, I figure we'll take the back strips off and we'll just do pothos and sweet potatoes across the whole back. I read that those roots are really good for the water too. So the big tank, we still got the tape on. We still need to do another coat of the black stain. But everyone's doing really good in here. Here's Lemmy or Delhaize. Slick, our fire eel. Banks, doing good. Our spotted Florida gar. And you can see Socks chilling over here with Vivi. So here's where the silver dollars went. We finally pulled the trigger and moved them over. We were hoping they weren't too small, but we got, you know, the bigger catfish out of here and those aggressive Central American cichlids. It's Cosmo. You have Leakery cichlid. We thought they'd be okay, and so far so good. They're doing awesome in here. And they really didn't do much growing in the 55. We're really hoping they'll start to grow now that they're in this tank. Get back so you can see better. Yeah. So that's exciting that we got them over. We can't wait to move the arowana over on the peacock bass. Back there is the Endlecheri. We took the name of him Frank. He's kind of slugging it tonight. He ate quite a few night crawlers. And there's the Lapredae hiding. And that's all we got going for this tank. Same plans. I plan on revamping a lot of stuff, getting a lot of, changing out all the media and the FXs. Once we get all the tanks set up and we can start fine-tuning everything. We just want to get everything up and running first and all the fish that we want, and then we can take our time refining. Yeah, everything's doing really good in here. And we're really happy to have the silver dollars moved. They were so fast paced. We thought between them and the peacock bass that might have been stressing the arowana out, but I really think it's light related. And that's what we got going on. I will record again if you guys want just the saltwater tanks. I really haven't done anything new to them, but you know, I'd like to show you guys how they're doing, because that's 2 updates in a row. The lights have been out, so I'll record tomorrow so we could see those. I was thinking that, you know, whenever I look at other people's fish rooms, I'm always like, man, let me see the filtration. What are you doing on that tank? That I'm going to start compiling all the details for all the equipment that we have for all of our tanks, and maybe I'll do an equipment update for everything, so what we're running on everything. I thought that would be cool. If anyone's, you know, interested in that, thinks it's a good idea, let me know. And yeah, besides that, sorry for the late update. Better late than never, though. As always, thanks to everyone watching, and we'll see you on the next update.